graphics. That's awesome. All right. Now, how is the sound? Can you hear me? It's there is a time delay. So, got it? Okay. All right. It's always questionable when I fire this thing up to whether or not it's gonna record properly. Always gets me concerned a bit. I got fluids for drinking. Awesome, awesome. Oh, good call. The batteries are gone, and we don't have squat for batteries. Um, double A, two double A. We should get the rechargeables in there. All right, are you ready? All right, let's do this. Yeah, I don't know why that's always so loud. I should adjust that. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and yeah, still a big project. But there's been a lot of progress since I've seen you guys last. In fact, it kind of blows my mind to think that it's only been a week since I last saw you guys, considering how much work has actually been done on this. And to kind of give you an idea, I got this to show you. So you can see that row that's over there to the left there. That is the area I was working on. And I was saying before, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make longer rows to go down into the corner or not. And the main reason is if you make a really long row, it seems to take a daunting amount of time. It's really challenging, right? So what I've come up with is trying to do four, little ones or whatever, work on a section, and then work on the other area. Now, if you guys remember right, if you guys don't remember all of this, or anyone that's new to my channel will get a chance of a little history. So this is the 6 segments, right? There are 6 different diamonds, and then there's 6 different counterparts to those diamonds, right? So that's what kind of makes up the whole pattern, right? So there's 9 of those in the whole. All of this, I repeated it 9 times. So that makes, hang on, I had math over here written down. That makes 54 diamonds across. But since the counterpart kind of starts off whatever, let me show you that video again. If you look all the way at the far right over there, I didn't make a half a diamond, right? So basically, instead of having 54 of these little tassel-y bits, there'll be 53, if that makes sense. The ones on the end will both kind of come down into one instead, so they're a little bit longer on the ends. So 53 of those to go. I've managed so far to get 7, and I'm working on the row that'll make my 8th, right? So I don't know, 53 minus 8 is where we'll be here shortly. That shows us how much more is to go. So what I've done over here, is this as wide as this gets? Hang on. I think I can make this a little better. Okay, so the area that I came down over here will make this 2 segments, or 12 of these little braids. So that's kind of And then I'll go back to doing the upper part up here for a whole segment worth or 6 rows, and then I'll bring it down. And let me put this back. And the reason, my thought process behind that is adding up here, get up on this top area, adding as much string as I do and as much time and tediousness as it is a bit of a break to work further on down here, as well as the fact that, let's check this out. There is going around the side, right? There is just so much string and so much fabric created from all of this that it's really challenging to kind of even just put this thing onto the easel itself, right? So what I'm doing is, now that these have been tied off, because mind you, I was adding so much string, and the strings are really long, like a third of a skein. So since I'm adding so much string, as it was going to come around this corner, I was just going to end up with a ton of material on my desk. And I realized that just makes it so hard to have so much material on either side of this thing for trying to get that whole row complete and then come back and do the whole row again. I came up with the idea that if I just work in these little sections, make 6 rows and then complete it down 6 rows, then go up and back, that it's a little bit more rewarding to me, as well as it'll be a little less of a headache when it comes to shifting this around the corner, which is coming. I could probably already move it down, but I don't really kind of need to just yet. It's sort of there, but it doesn't have to be. Oh, let me turn some music. Okay, so that's kind of that. Now, one other thing that I'm really super proud of is, check this out. This is the mirror in the living room, and excuse Dad's head over there in the corner, but this is the mirror that I basically, the whole thing started with me telling the wife, wouldn't it be cool to have something that's the size of that mirror to put up on the wall that I've made myself, with my own 2 hands. And she was like, yeah, that would be really cool. You should do that. And I'm like, really? Okay. Like, how much material would it be? And it just, the math went into it, and then the sorting out the pattern. And then there was like a whole bunch of steps before it actually got started. But it all started with that mirror. And like, that mirror came, well, I found it. It says it's from IKEA on the back of it, but somebody was tossing it out, didn't want it anymore. And I thought it would be pretty cool in the living room. But that mirror was the inspiration. Now, mind you, why I'm stoked about this and why I bring this up is the fact that if I actually made it smaller, made a few rows less or whatever, obviously this thing wouldn't take nearly as long to make. Right? It's smaller, faster, right? I am very proud to say that where it ends here will actually make it the same size as that mirror. I am so pleased with myself that I didn't give up. I didn't cut corners. It's going to be that size. So it's going to be every bit as epic as it was originally intended to be. So that's where that is. So let's see, what else did I have? Oh, you should see what it looks like. That's this one. So this is what it's looking like. And here you can see the bottom right-hand side. That's the area that's 100% complete. And then you can see the whole extra segment. Now, this was taken yesterday, so I'm a little bit further along than this is. But you can see the one segment that's come down a row. And mind you, just to get it to there's a few extra rows on the far right that had to happen in order to make it so that way one segment could be at the bottom. So it's just that much sooner that I get to the other end, because the other end won't have that, and it just means that it's less work or whatever. So that's where it's looking right now. And like I said, last week we were just working on that higher row, and I was still undecisive as to whether or not I was going to extend further down. And like I said, it was one of those kind of, I had to make it a real executive decision. And in the end, I decided that this was just going to be that much easier in the overall scheme of things. On top of the fact, I have to say, there is something like super rewarding and exciting to actually tie the knot and cut the string off and everything. That there's like, that's giving me a moral boost, I guess, which helps to kind of speed things along. Mind you, I still have some symptoms from the having COVID, and the one that's bothering me the most right now is they call it dry eye disease. It's just an aftermath of it, and it's really causing me a lot of trouble with my focus. So it kind of, if you ever had like something like pink eye or something like, conjunctivitis or whatever, those kind of things that really gums up your eyes, it feels a lot like that. And it's it is really bothersome, and it messes with your focus. And I haven't gotten to where I can make bracelets with my eyes closed yet. I don't think anybody really does that. So it's taking a toll. I imagine until I get this resolved, things might go a little slower. But that's, I'll take it as it comes. It's, well, that's awesome. I like the idea that people see this and just think that this is cool. So yeah, awesome. Thank you, Maris. So yeah, it's been a whole lot of work into this. Like, it totally is. Oh, and check this out. It's what is it? 124 grams, 1,124 grams so far. So that's the latest weigh-in. And yeah, it's, in case you guys want to like to have a go at like trying to guess what it's gonna weigh when it's finally finished. Because I thought about that. If I had like the means where like I could start a little pool, like the winner, like whoever's closest win something, I would totally do that. But I don't think there's a means for doing it on my website, and not really. I don't know. It's kinda could be a thing, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, really pleased with like the progress so far. Hey Rainbow, hey, that's glad you made it. You missed a message earlier about, I was wondering if you got the neti pot. Sorry guys. Rainbow was telling me about having some issues with allergies, and if you ever have problems with your sinuses, that kind of stuff, a neti pot is like, oh my god, it really helps so much. Even like with my sinuses right now, in this whole post-COVID thing, I'm probably using it probably 2-3 times a day, and it's so much relief on the nose. So yeah, yeah, I swear by that. Oh, before I go too much further, don't forget, we still have the secret word game. Nobody's managed to figure it out yet. It's I'll give you the clues again. The clues are that it's got something to do with one of my earlier videos, as well as it's something so easy there should be no problem spelling it. So those are the clues so far. If we don't get it today, I'll try to see if I can't come up with another clue. I don't know how to give clues without giving it away. Like, I honestly, like, I already feel like my clues that I've given are like, really giving it away. So yeah. Oh, cool. You did get it. Awesome. So yeah. Yeah, I really, it's hard when I look at this. I just cannot believe that it was a week ago. This whole area that over to the side, like, that just wasn't even there. So really pleased with the amount of progress I've made. I'm still having to like kind of take it a little bit easy because of the whole, having had the COVID, and I don't get to do my morning workouts and some of the other stuff that's kind of been kind of, halted for the time being. So, I don't know. A little bit extra time, I guess, I have had to put into this, as well as the excitement and novelty of getting to the edges. Pretty neat. Cool. Yeah, I tried sharing a short video of this, and I have to admit, like, I shared it over on Reddit, and the comments and stuff were just absolutely hilarious. Somebody had said that this is like the final boss of bracelets. I thought that was probably one of the most hilarious things I read. But yeah, I'm really happy with how everything is turning out, though. I mean, seriously, it's the having added the light blue string up in this area is coming down to where it's not an excessive amount at the end. So like the timing and stuff worked out really well. A lot of little things that could have been an issue just seem to all be falling into place, which is, some of it is good planning, some of it is just being fortunate, I guess. So that's cool. Yeah, it's honestly, it kind of blows my mind. Like, I haven't done like regular videos in a while, but it still blows my mind when, like, I go back through and kind of look at the library of content that I have created. It kind of blows my mind, like there's so many different little bags and so many little different how-tos and beginner stuff. Like, honestly, if I wish I had known that having a channel like this would be as much fun as it is earlier, because I think we could have had a lot of fun, and I'd have a lot more followers and things going on, right? Nope, nothing with my fish tank. It's got to do with the bracelets. There's a clue. Yeah. So yeah, I did a few videos because I had an idea for a fish tank, and the thing's been running for like 2-3 years now, like 3 years, I think. And you don't see any hardware in it. Like, that was like my whole, I knew I could make something amazing, and it turned out absolutely epic. I am still to this day super proud of that thing. But yeah, that was it. Now, instead of having like cutesy little fish or whatever, it has angelfish, something my wife thought would be kind of nice and fun, and they pretty much ate everything else. So it's just them, and they're like, they totally just own the tank. They yeah, my whole thing with that tank was, no matter where you go, whatever tanks you look at, there's always that hose for the filter, and they'll try to maybe put some plants in front of it, or they'll do things. And I made it so that way it drains through the gravel, and then it goes there. All the tubes are hidden behind a mirror, and yeah, so there's absolutely no visible hardware. It's so cool. I love my fish. Really proud of my tank, to be honest. So that's that. Yeah, if and when we finally do move, that's this big tapestry, or whatever we're going to call this thing, and the fish tank. Those are like the for sure going to be set up. In the meantime, I kind of kind of wondering where I'm going to put this thing once I finish it. Like, honestly, there's not really a space on the wall, like, suited for it right now. I don't want to tear down the mirror. The mirror is good there. The mirror is kind of handy. I can, from in the kitchen, I can kind of peek around the corner and see what Dad's doing without, you know, being too obvious about it. Wow. I had a friend who had piranhas before. That's I don't think I would enjoy it, but I don't know. If the wife said that's what she wanted, I suppose we would do that. I like when all the fish get along. I like a friendly tank where everything is all peaceful and happy and stuff. Yeah, you should totally do that. That's kind of hilarious to be in a fish and chip shop too, by the way. That's kind of cool. Annoying customers feed the fish. That's awesome. I'm gonna hit this volume. Hang on a second. The music on my end was just a bit much. That's cool. Yeah, I totally think like if you've got creative abilities, you know, making things for your craft is definitely the way to go. So like if you make like a big basket to hold all your yarn out of yarn, you know, that's totally cool. Like I've got kumis that hold the tools that we have for making more kumis, and I have kumis that held bracelets, like, you know, just like make a rope or something that held elements and things like that. Like I think that's a totally great usage of the art itself, you know. Oh right. Yeah, I have some tiny baskets that are like those wire cubes that have like is that nylon? Like some kind of like a fabricy mesh woven thing. They're pretty cool. They're nice. They're about the right size to be able to hold skeins of embroidery floss, and that way I can like have a project or whatever like kind of set aside. But yeah, that's totally cool. So yeah, I was thinking too about this project here, right? So there's 9 times those 6 segments or whatever, right? So I guess, you know, if you're looking at making bigger projects or you're thinking about, you know, how you could change up, essentially, I figured out I could double a pattern, right? So I could make something twice as wide. And then from there, I went as far as to go 6 times as wide, right? And then I took that 6 times as wide, and then went 9 times that. That's how this came up with the 866 strings, is that whole evolution of, if it can go from here, it can go to there. And maybe you don't go that far, right? This is an insane amount. When I think about like how long it takes to complete this thing, because it's already been what, 8 months, and I'm sure there's a whole nother month here. I mean, you could have a child in the amount of time that it took to make this thing. That's insane. But maybe you don't want to do something this big. Maybe you want to make a pillow or make something else. It's just a matter of knowing how to put 2 bracelets together. And the trick there is it makes 1 extra row. Like if you look at your bracelet and then you're going to put another one exactly the same to it, there's 1 row in between that sort of joins the 2 things together. And as long as you know how that works, like I went from a double wide to something 7 times as wide, like really, really early on in my bracelet making, because I wanted something for myself that was just definitively showed that I knew what I was doing. And I wore this to a concert. Like I had like a pile of bracelets with me, and I wore this big, huge monstrosity on my arm. And I tell you what, it got a lot of attention. It got a lot of people to take notice, which was exactly what I wanted. I wanted to show like I'm the bracelet maker. I'm not just importing these things from a third world country or whatever. I actually made it. And that kind of justified why my prices were higher than the people who were importing. So, yeah. Yeah, make tapestries, not babies. That's just not perfect. But yeah, when I think about like how much work has gone into this, it's overwhelming. And mind you, so yeah, all that amount of time, there's at least a couple hours a day, at least a couple. You know, there are days where it might have 8 hours into it. There are days where it might only have 4. But pretty much every day since August, I have put some kind of effort into this. And yeah, it's hard to imagine how much. You guys are too much. Yeah, I have to admit, this is gonna be a lot more something I'd be proud of than a child. But yeah, I really hope that this does kind of get people interested in doing something bigger for themselves, you know, even if it's just to take a chance and double wide a bracelet. You know, you have an interesting design, and then you go in and you do the work to see how amazing, you know, even if say you go from a 16 string to a 32, right? That's enough of a jump to really, you know, end up with something that at the end of the day that, you know, is just pretty amazing. Oh no, that's like my worst nightmare. Good Lord. Well, I I guess now that you're going to have to take a break, I guess, you know, wander around taking pictures. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so after this thing is finally completed, now that I see the light at the end of the tunnel, I've got the pillows and stuff in mind for what's coming next. And the first two pillows are both relatively simple. They're basically dovetail patterns that are just very different but very similar. And I am so looking forward to it. Kind of looking forward to seeing your guys' reaction. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what I learn from the method that goes into them, because they are both so completely different. I am bound to discover new things along the way, so that's going to be really fun. Oh, and for the purpose of all the people that come in and watch this stuff at a later time, I should actually let everybody know that this all is made possible by the Patreon supporters. Like, the camera I had completely died on me, and if not for my Patreon supporters, like, I wouldn't even be able to make these videos. So, you know, a special kudos every time I do a video. I have got to thank them. And if you want to have your name scroll by on the screen and stuff, just, you know, even at $5, I will put you on there, just because it just means that much to me. So, yeah. And eventually, the plan is, if I get, what was it, 100 supporters? I think it was at 100 supporters, I am going to randomly draw a name to win the biggest bag I've ever created. We call this the bucket bag. It's just massive. There's, I want to say it's 400 strings. It's absolutely ridiculous, the size of this thing. So yeah, that's one of the things that we have planned if we ever get up that far. We're nowhere near it, but yeah. I think I can kind of picture that. I could see, like, doing cemeteries with black and white and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. I used to live really close to a cemetery, like a super old one. So yeah, I could picture that. That was back when I lived in Pontiac, Michigan. Like, feels like a whole lifetime ago. Couple lifetimes ago, really. Is Canterbury the city that sort of has like a wall going around it, made out of like that flint stuff, like a I want to say that sounds like the right name. I went there once. Like there's a city that's just got like a stonish kind of wall going around it. The stone's got that black shiny. So this is pretty cool. At the end of this row, like at this light blue, and that's it. Yeah, my wife can totally sleep on trains. Like I can't do it. I freak out and afraid I miss my stop or whatever. I don't know how she manages, but she always wakes up right in time. Blows my mind. I have no idea how she does it. And I'm not even talking like semi out. She like totally like to the point she could be snoring and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the churches and stuff so much, but I remember a few outings and stuff, going to different places for fun. Yeah, it might be. I remember there was one place we went to, somewhere closer towards Oxford, where they had a miniature version of the town all built up, and you could like walk around it, and like all the little houses and stuff come up to like a child's knee. That was pretty neat. I like that place. So cool. All right. Okay. Maybe I'll move this camera just a little bit. Show you what I'm doing here. So that's it. I've completed this row. So now what I'm gonna do is I take the highest string, and then it doesn't do anything except for just kind of sits there. The next one down goes over top of it, around and through, and pulled nice and tight. Then the next one down goes around the 2 and pulls nice and tight. And the next one goes around the 3. And so on and so on. And this gives it a really nice edge. So that way like all the strings are kind of well tucked around each other. I suppose you kids probably have a name for this. I have no idea what anybody else calls this. I just know that it works. Been doing it for a long time. It just works. But yeah. And this way, it's doing the same thing, just in the opposite direction. Like, now I go over the 2. All right, so that's how I got those nice clean edges. And then what I'm going to do is I kind of give this a little bit of a twist, because I want to keep all the strings together. Bring it up and around. I have my fingers going through, so that way I can pull the string back through all of that. And then I try to get it up as close to the top as possible. And then comes the more tedious part. I have to go through and all of the pairings, pull them in so that way the knot really tightens up onto itself. Because otherwise, if I put this through the washing machine, the knot can kind of loosen and get deformed. So by taking all the strings and see like that, just had a whole big, chunk pull through. This will make it so that way this thing is machine wash ready, which I totally plan on keeping it that way, because over here we have like really bad humidity and stuff. So if this thing starts to get mold or whatever else, I'm gonna want to be able to put it in the washing machine and clean it up before it gets too bad. Like my dartboard started to grow like mold and stuff on it. So yeah, it's totally legit a thing here. I thought about trying to put this thing inside a glass, but like I said, the humidity is so bad, like that might not be enough to keep it safe. So I think the best bet is to keep it where I can actually just wash it should there be any trouble. So there it is. One more row down. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 8. What's 53 minus 8? There's 45 more of these things to go. That's kind of exciting. It doesn't sound too bad. You know what I mean? Like, versus knowing how many knots there are, like, honestly, or how many diamonds would be daunting. But that doesn't sound too bad. So Rainbow, you were talking about there's gonna film a movie in your area. Have they started that stuff yet? Do you get to have pictures of them blocking off the streets and doing all that stuff? Oh, and to anybody else that's okay, so like obviously answering questions and having fun talking to the people who actually are here for the live stream itself. But I noticed that like there's probably 50 or more people who come and watch it afterwards. So if you're one of those people, if you have questions, leave a comment. I might be able to type out an answer, or maybe I'll have to show you in the next video, but that's always a possibility too. Like I do definitely want to be able to answer your questions and help out in any way possible. So yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and hit me up. Today is 19. Oh, real soon then, next Monday. Cool. Wait, what's an American style pharmacy? What's the difference between that and other, huh? Wait, what? I want to know what's an American style, like, I thought pharmacies are pharmacies. You said a period piece, and I suddenly was like, wait, what? And because somehow my mind took the other kind of period, because I guess the pharmacy, I don't know, that's just you get what I mean? Like, it's not a period piece, you mean like with pads and stuff? Ew. Anyway. Oh, and since I added all the string in the previous section, like one of the real bonuses in this area down here is the fact that all the strings are relatively long, and because I don't actually have to get up and go get more strings, and I don't have to worry about, you know, the lengths or whatever else, it really lets me just focus on the project at hand. And it's really has been like taking a break, you know, to work on this area versus working on the higher section. So why would they be in England trying to make an American looking pharmacy? Like, wouldn't it be just easier to do a pharmacy in America? I don't know. I'm easily confused. Anyway, now we have something to look forward to, seeing what kind of movie comes out of the rainbow area. The real trick will be, can you get down there where the stars are and offer them a beer? That'll be... Yeah, that doesn't sound like an American pharmacy. That sounds like a 7-Eleven. Little fridge with drinks only. They don't have foods. No. I don't remember seeing any food in any of our Guardians, no. Candy maybe, but like not a sandwich. I love how we never know what we're going to talk about in these videos. Now we're talking about pharmacies and sandwiches. Like that's awesome. You don't know, but I can help. No, look inside the package. You missed. There's a thing in there. There you go. We had a grocery store where they had baskets of socks, and they have a pharmacy in the grocery store, but it was more of a grocery store. And sadly, those are the last set of socks that I really, really, really liked. Like everything since then, they're just a little small, and so the heel doesn't quite go where I like it. Like, really disappointed. Like, that's incredibly random thing to be talking about, but yeah, now you got me thinking about like how that one grocery store, and you never know if they're going to be like awesome, you know, so like there's always that, like, never buy enough when they are awesome, or you buy a whole bunch and find out not really awesome. That would be weird. Yarn at a pharmacy? That would be weird. Well, gift wrap, like seasonal, like that's kind of makes sense. Like just having something that you know you can dump on the market real quick because it's the season or whatever. That kind of makes sense. Really? Stuffed toys, I can kind of picture it because like if you're there getting medicine and stuff, somebody's sick, maybe you want to, you know, cheer them up with like a thing. I don't know. Candy ring? No, we didn't have orange and red, no. We've had some pretty ferocious storms, like seriously pouring down tropical storms, but nothing where the sky turned cool colors or anything. Maybe like kind of greenish right before the storms hit, but like nothing. Wow, that's kind of cool. we sometimes get like cool sunsets from the volcanoes because we're really close to Indonesia. So if like one of their volcanoes is kind of shooting out the smoke or whatever, we'll get some interesting colors in the sky. But like cool sunsets or whatever. Yeah, yeah, we used to get really bad. Like they would burn after like the crops were harvested or whatever, just take a match to it. We would get really bad smoke problems from it. We haven't had that in years. We went for a ride in like a super cool old, like, I don't know, like Vietnam War era type Jeeps up a volcano and saw like a home that was devastated by the what do they call that flow? When the smoke and everything comes rolling down, whatever, how it melted everything. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was kind of cool. But yeah, when it comes to like things that are scary, earthquakes and volcanoes, totally the scariest. Because like if you ever like try to do rollerblades or skateboards or whatever, right? The one thing that you can count on is the ground. Like that's safety. You know, if you have to stop, you put your hands down or on your hands and knees or whatever, or jump off the skateboard and back on the ground. But when you can't trust the ground, that's, yeah, I hear that's like the worst thing ever, because where can you go? Yeah, we were pretty much assured that, like, you know, there's been no seismic activity, there's no whatever. Yeah. I'm somehow picturing this one little brain cell just working really, really hard. Like, yeah, you're way far away from all that stuff, for sure. We're closer, but like for whatever reason, like we don't get hit with the tremors too much. We don't get hit with the bad storms or whatever. Like a lot of area around Singapore is kind of known for it, but Singapore for whatever reason just doesn't get hit with it. Yeah, so I'm pretty super hyped here. This is kind of coming along relatively quick. Finished that other row earlier, and we're almost halfway done with this one, so yeah. If I had $1 for every day I said, no braining today, I don't know, I'd have a bunch of money. Right. Yeah, I was pretty amazed when I took this thing off the board for yesterday, trying to do the whole photo thing and stuff. Like that, it just, seriously, until you actually see like the final length and stuff, it really does not compute just how big this thing really will be. It was, you know, I know measurements and all that kind of stuff and like taking it down, but like actually seeing it like that really kind of drove home just how big this thing really is. An earthquake simulator? That's kind of weird. Well, at Rainbow, a brain transplant costs a lot more if you want a politician's brain, because when it comes to brains, they measure by weight, and to get an ounce of politicians takes an awful lot of politicians. You missed Mandy's eyes rolling. Wow. That does sound kind of, at least interesting. Like, I guess as long as you know that you're safe, that's cool. Like, I slept through 6 earthquakes, and the one that I didn't sleep through, I was on a bus, and I never even knew it happened. I was going to go visit a friend who was in the hospital, and apparently it was bad enough that his hospital bed was going from one end of the room to the other, back and forth, you know, while the building shook. So, but I was on a bus. It just kind of felt like going over potholes or whatever, like never even noticed. So yeah, like missed every single one of them the whole time I was in California. I was there for a year in 86 to 87. So people pay to go see the earthquake experience? Is that how this works? Is this like, or is this part of like a bigger amusement thing, or how does a museum, like how? Uh, I guess that rocks. Yeah, we need a Mandy cam. I agree with Rainbow on that one for sure. That's kind of cool. That's making learning an interactive thing. I think that's definitely pretty cool. So check it out. 2 diamonds, 2 more to go. That's some pretty good progress. All right, hang on a second here. Need to stop put some eye drops in. This dry eye thing is just terrible. Wow, a poop museum in Australia? Whoa, those guys really know their shit. Roll again. I'm telling you, you guys, seriously. That's the next thing we're saving up for. My Patreon peoples. Yeah, we are saving up for the Mandy cam. So, I'm just telling you. It was not just the eye roll that got me on that one. It was the stern look on the face, like as if I went just a little too far. It was good though. It was good. You just know that there are school outings going to this museum, and there's a whole pack of little girls all going, ew, and there's a whole pack of little boys giggling to no end. I can already imagine. I'm pretty okay. So I'm trying to imagine sensory issues in a place like this. I gotta believe that they've taken out the smell. I mean, I'm somehow imagining, like, have you guys ever seen the Japanese restaurants where they have like out of plastic made all the different kinds of foods and stuff that you can order? I'm imagining that they're like showing you all the different animals, stuff without it actually being the animal stuff, right? Because like the smell doesn't really linger anyways. Like as soon as that stuff dries out, like there's no more odor. So and I guess if this is Australia after all, like this is a place where like everything seems to be out to try to kill you anyway, so it's probably good to be able to recognize like, oh, there's from the animal, that's lethal or whatever. Knowing one's in your backyard, that's probably helpful. Wow. Okay. Yeah, where is my buddy Phil? Like, seriously. I don't know why, but I can't think of anything to talk about. Like normally me, I can, I have this thing where I never shut up, but now for whatever reason, I'm like totally drawing a blank here. Yeah, that would be Phil. I wanted to hit him up. I saw a cribbage board on a website that has plans, or I don't know what you call it, but if you own a 3D printer, you can go. There's some websites you can go to that you can download the thing to be able to make the thing, right? I don't, like I said, I don't know what you call it, like the program or the blueprints or whatever it is, whatever makes the 3D printer work. Anyways, I saw a cribbage board that looked pretty cool. It was like it fits around a deck of cards and just has enough room besides the deck of cards to hold the little pegs and stuff. Yeah. He likes to think he is. He's a sweet guy. Really, really nice guy. But he somehow does not want to portray being a nice guy, seeing as how nice guys finish last. So he's developed an evil persona. And since he's not likely to actually watch my videos without like it being live, I can actually let you guys in on that little secret, and he'll be none the wiser. So yeah, that's Phil right there. But yeah, I don't know too many people who have 3D printers, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to try this thing out. Is cribbage still like a popular thing in England? Like, or you kids don't do this the games from the old people stuff? Like my mom taught me cribbage, and she was from England, so. And apparently my grandfather knew what kind of hand you held by the way that you move your cards around in your hand when you picked it up. So like he was, I don't know, a pretty crazy cribbage player, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, I like those shows too. He grew. How do you say his name? Group? Yeah, Gru is cool. I like the little girl. It's so fluffy. Yeah, awesome shows. Right. But like the boyfriend hasn't tried to talk you into learning how to play the game. Yeah, so cribbage is a card game that requires a board to be able to count the points, because points kind of come in frequently, but not a whole lot of them at any given time. So you need a little board with pegs, so that way you can, you know, add 4, add 5, add 3, whatever, onto your score. The goal is to be the first one to get 121 points to win. So, like me and the wife, oh man, we play the hell out of the game. I taught her how to play it, and for a while there, I couldn't beat her. I don't know what the hell, but this last little holiday we had, oh yeah, I put the smack down. Oh, he isn't. Yeah, cribbage is like a great game. Like, yeah, I can imagine. Oh, yeah, because Canada has that whole British influence, right? So yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is over here, it's almost impossible to find a cribbage board. And so we finally got one through like Amazon.com, but the thing is massive. It is super heavy. It's not made to be portable. And so yeah. Like I had one that was really nice wood and really nicely shaped and everything else. It was about the size of a deck of playing cards. And I can't find anything like it. And like the only thing that's even remotely kind of like like that, like, is to order from like the United States or whatever, and they went like $100 for these things. It's just crazy. Well, when the one brain cell is preoccupied on drinking, you can bet there's probably very little room for games. Poor little brain cell, all the drinking and smoking and still trying to carry on. So Gothic, are you pretty good at cribbage? That's pretty clever on the grandfather's part. Like, give the kid alcohol pretty soon. Well, for one, they're going to keep quiet because they don't want, you know, tip off the rest of the family. And secondly, after they get a good little buzz going, they're going to go take a little nap. Smart. Yeah, cribbage takes a little effort for teaching. There's like a lot of like really weird rules and silly bits. It's yeah, but it's fun. It's really, most of the time I'm not really big on card games because of the whole nature of how chance, you know, is, you know, if somebody's lucky, you can't beat them kind of thing. But cribbage, there's just enough skill in there that whoever wins, they probably really worked for it, you know. I kind of like that about the game. Yeah, like if you try to read the rules for cribbage, like actually go and like there's websites and stuff for the rules, it's a little overwhelming because there's just so many weird, like who starts the deal and then what they have to do. And yeah, there's just a whole lot. Yeah, you need somebody that's really patient that can sit and walk you through all of it until you're comfortable enough to play it without, you know, being guided. Yeah, Mandy can talk all she wants to about it, but at the end of the day, she is really good at the game. She really is. You have beaten me a lot. Seriously, just don't let her fool you. She really is good at the game. I just happen to have a run of luck or whatever. Just she wasn't paying as good attention or whatever. Somehow I we she won a lot of games. I won like the tournament, like the best of, or the first one to get to 7 games, right? I won the overall, but there it was really coming down to the wire and stuff, you know. Hey, Amanda. Oh. Now I'm wondering, do I say hello and then like try to anticipate what she says next? You don't know what to say. Hello. Yeah, tonight's music is a little different. I tried something else from the so like there's a guy who makes music for people to use while streaming, and basically he makes his money because streamers play their music for hours on end. You know, like obviously, like we'll be here for at least 2 hours, right? So because we'll play the music for so long, he's actually making decent money off of Spotify. So yeah, just kind of works out pretty nice. What are the temperatures there, Gothic? Like, it's not even quite spring yet. Right. Yes. Most people complain that Spotify you don't make money. This dude's making like serious bank because so many streamers want music that's not going to be copywritten or get the copyright strikes and stuff. So YouTube and Twitch and all that, all those people are going to him for the music. So he's making hella bank, and yeah, kudos, good for him, you know. And it makes it fun for the stream here, so that's sort of awesome. Yeah, so that's I always tell people it's the just above zero is always colder than if it was zero, you know, or below, because if it's like 1 degree, you get wet and it just soaks through your clothes and you just can get it just sucks all the heat out of your body. At least at zero, it's something you can like you can brush it off and it's fine. So yeah, like there's a part of spring that's just miserable. Everything's, you know, kind of black colors and not fun. I like how there's like familiar names like can pop in and it's just like being, you know, part of the whole gang or whatever. That's so cool. Yeah, I guess if it's been really cold, 11 will feel awesome, but over here where it's always, you know, I don't know, like the lows here are probably like 24, 25. So yeah, 11 would probably freeze me to death. That seems kind of wow. I don't think I could go swimming here every day, and I'm in tropics. You know what though? They say that like doing stuff like that would actually help circulation. Like the sudden shock of cold would make all of the blood vessels contract, and then anything after that, like it just absolutely helps all the circulation. So like I went swimming in the lake in January in Michigan, where there was still ice on a large part of the lake. It was like a kind of warm day, like where you have like those the January thaw or whatever. Um, but yeah, we went out into the water, and I don't know how long we spent in it. Not long, but enough to be like, yeah, I don't want to do too much of that. There we go. Another tassel. Dude probably has like this epic circulatory system, like absolutely, in the prime. The only thing is like probably has microplastics or whatever in there too from shit from in the water. Like there's probably a lot of good, and there's probably a bunch of bad stuff. Yeah, so when it gets extremely shocked by extremely cold, it'll like kind of maybe cut off some of the circulation to the extremities to try to protect the heart or whatever. But then like afterwards, after the whole shock, then like everything comes out better. I just the Finland and Helsinki and all those places, they all have way better health because they'll go out in the winter and like plunge into the water and stuff. So like it it's already been shown like this it's way healthy for people, and it really helps the circulation. But yeah. In those 10 minutes, man, when it's really cold out there, those 10 minutes got to feel like an hour. I have no doubt in my mind that that's like the hardest 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't do well with cold anymore. I came from Michigan where we had proper winters and stuff, and now I can't handle a movie theater without like like that sweat jacket. Honestly, that's no joke. I take that thing with me to the movies because I can't handle it. Yeah, the ice baths. Like, yeah, Rainbow. That's totally a thing. Here, let me get it. Sorry about that. My nose has been bothering me for a little bit. Couldn't take it anymore. I used to like sitting by the fireplace at my sister's house because she had a great big huge picture window that wasn't too far away, so you could sit by the fire. And then she had a floodlight just outside the house, and you could just watch the snowflakes coming down through the floodlight and be nice and toasty warm, and it's just watching it. It was like so peaceful. And of course, you know, adult sippy cups. Back then I wasn't like too sophisticated. I would be more than happy with a bottle of like Southern Comfort. And if you've never tried it, picture the sweetest childlike whiskey possible, and then you have Southern Comfort. Yeah, most people just complain about how sweet it is. It's really, most people just that's not even whatever. I don't know. I'm a bigger fan of Drambuie, which unfortunately is something that's difficult to get over here. Like the only place the only place I know to get Drambuie is through the duty-free shop, which means I have to like go away and be gone for a while before I can actually even buy any. Actually, talking about alcohol, I just saw a bottle on sale. The heck was it? Kraken. The Kraken? It was a kind of rum. Made me actually think of you, Rainbow. Is because you had that other weird bottle of rum. But this was called the Kraken, and there was like a weird, like maybe octopus kind of thing on the bottle itself. It was looked pretty wild, pretty fresh. I forget how much they were selling it for, but even on sale, it wasn't cheap. How fun is that to be able to, you know, you pull out a bottle of rum, it's release the Kraken. Really? I used to be into like rum and cokes. I used to pretty much though just stick with Bacardi. Mind you, I was doing the Bacardi 151, so yeah. Yeah, it was. It was a funky cool bottle. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those like random ads that came through like Facebook or something. Over here, alcohol is so much more expensive. Oh my God. Like, it seriously put a cap into my whole idea of like, you know, having a nice little drink periodically, because it's just stupid how expensive it is. No, Mandy hesitated on buying it, and for whatever reason, like at the time we saw it, it was actually a kind of an okay price, and now it's like almost twice that. It's maybe even more than twice it. It's alcohol here is just stupid. Like back when I lived in Michigan, I could buy a bottle of port wine for a bottle that I enjoyed, like a really nice port wine, and I think we were paying like maybe $6. Like to get a port wine here, $70. You know, and it might not even be awesome. Like it's so. We did. Shit wasn't cheap though. It wasn't. It wasn't $6. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have some hazelnut flavor stuff for my coffees. I don't know, like for some odd reason, I just do not enjoy it. And like I've had all kinds of like hazelnut, like creamers and stuff that are awesome, but for some odd reason, this one just sucks. And so now like I have to question like, would I enjoy a hazelnut rum? I don't know, because if it's like this hazelnut, no. But like so many other like drinks and stuff, like I get the hazelnut toffee from Starbucks, like the capsules for the coffee maker. That stuff's awesome, man. I love that. So I don't know. The whole thing just confuses me. And yeah, I love the idea of taking old bottles and putting stuff in it for the sake of being fun. I think that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. I wonder. Yeah, you know, I haven't really gone to a bar here, so I don't know if that's the kind of thing like the bars and stuff would have. Because that would be, you're right, that makes a lot of more sense. Try a little bit. So do you typically, when you drink rum, do you just drink rum straight, like, or do you make mixed drinks? I kind of think that I'm not much of a straight rum kind of drinker. Like, for me, I think it's got to be kind of mixed with something. Suddenly my head is spinning because the conversation's all spun out of control. So wait, so that's kind of cool that your things. Okay, rum with ice, cocoa separate. No, mix. Yeah, okay. So you just do a drink of the rum, then a drink of the Coke? Yes. I used to be a big fan of like 7 and 7, which that was like my go-to drink for a long time. And then of course there was the rum and cokes and stuff, like, I don't know. What else? I'm trying to remember what my like earlier drinkings were. Really, 7 and 7 was like my absolute go-to. Some point I discovered Drambuie, then that became my absolute, because Drambuie was great, like straight out of the bottle. Like I didn't have to ice it, I didn't have to do anything. I could put that stuff in a flask, go for bike rides and out in the middle of the woods, and just get a little drink, get a little smoke, and ride my bike down crazy trails and stuff. Yeah, somebody just gifted me a bottle of like a rum coffee drink, which is okay. Definitely does the job of being a drink. Oh man. Yeah, I never, until like this bottle that my friend got at me. I never really heard of coffee and rum either. Like coffee and rum just doesn't make sense to me. Like honestly, you know, you're kind of ruining two different drinks. But um I don't know. I can kind of if I wanted to make a drink with coffee, I think I definitely like Bailey's Irish cream. Like that's a good one with coffee. Like that's a start your morning and ruin your whole day, like, because nothing is going to get done. Like that's a great combination. Oh my god. So yeah, chocolate rum balls. For whatever fuck reason, one of our friends bought rum balls and brought them to the office, and me, I love chocolate, and the rum didn't really taste like it was all that whatever, and like people were turning it down. I'm like, oh, I'll have yours. One after another after another. Yeah, that was an afternoon that nothing got accomplished at the office. Put on the headphone set, listen to music, like, woo. Oh man, those things were awesome. Yeah, anything that spiked on a hot day where you don't taste the alcohol, yeah, that's seriously dangerous. That's that's the kind of stuff that just kind of sneaks in there and leaves you sitting on the floor wondering why. Yeah, so the rum balls were freshly made, and like she said, and like literally two of them, and you kind of feel it. And I probably had like six, and I was like, really like that was it. I was doing web design at the time, and I could not concentrate on code to save my life. Brandy beans? I have no idea what a brandy bean is, but that sounds like fun. Well, except for I don't like brandy. I really, for whatever reason, like I remember a time where we just wanted to get lit up, and all we had was brandy, and we could not find a way to drink brandy and make it taste nice. Like just nothing. I don't know if it was a particular kind of brandy or what, but yeah, that stuff sucked. Yeah, if I wasn't like still having issues, all this talk would have me actually wanting to have a drink, but I think I'm gonna skip that till I feel a little bit better. And now the Irish cream ones, there you go. That would be, ooh, a cherry liquor. That sounds good. Yeah, wasn't a fan of brandy, but those others, those sound good. Yeah, yeah, those are good too. You guys are making me want to go get drunk. It's not fair. Mandy likes the dark chocolate. She likes the stuff that doesn't even taste like yummy, nice chocolate. Actually, you know what you probably have over there, Rainbow, that Mandy is a big, huge fan of? Although the problem is you won't know which is the good one. Mandy loves tea. I'm the coffee drinker. She is a tea drinker, and she loves herself some tea. Although I don't know if Britain has like the best tea or not. I suspect like we might be closer to where the good teas come from, so I don't know. And technically, we're closer to Sri Lanka than they are, so. Well, that is really weird. Yeah, it's, some of the flavored tea stuff like that can get, I don't know. I used to really like the Celestial Season teas. We don't typically get that around here though. Yeah, she drinks the black tea. English breakfast teas and English lavender teas and I give her the nanner teas. Rolling eyes again. Have you ever seen there's like a British thing for tea where I guess it came from China and it's like compressed into one giant block and you just sort of like, I don't know, break off a piece of it or whatever in order to make your pot of tea. It's like one great big brick. I think it's kind of, there's something kind of cool about that. I don't know why. That's kind of cool. I don't want a pupper's tea. That sounds like something that made at that shit museum. Aww. Not bad. That is crazy. Well, I kind of think this is about as far as I'm going to go tonight. My feeling it in the hands and my eyes are just driving me insane. This whole dry eye thing is really bad. So I will save this for later. And yeah, thank you guys for coming out tonight. And as silly as it is with tea and rum and everything else, I really do appreciate the fun chats that we have. It just keeps it fun, keeps it entertaining. Aww. Well, scaring puppers is sad. Poor thing. So anyways, before I go, I definitely have to thank my Patreon supporters yet again. You guys have made this all possible and keep me going, even when I kind of feel like, I don't know. No, you guys make sure that kind of hold me in there and keep me at this. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I will be back again next week, hopefully with a lot more progress. If it could be anything like this last week, that'd be fantastic. Like, yeah, who knows how far along we'll be. So, you know, take your guys' guesses. We'll see who can get the closest to how many of the tassels we completed. I'll keep it secret until we actually do the live stream. So that'll be kind of a fun thing to play with. And then, so yeah, I'll be back March 26th, Saturday. So yeah, hopefully you guys can make it again. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, if you guys come up with any questions or something, you guys want to hang out, let me know. Hit me up. I know that we missed out on the last hangout because I was so out of it because of the whole COVID thing. But I'm better now, you know. So yeah, if you guys want to hang out or chat or whatever, let me know. All right. And then until next week, I want you guys to remember, don't get your strings in a bunch. Take care, guys.